Welcome to the second webinar. This is me, Vladimir. I'm an author of the courses about lazy trading. And this webinar is a special one because we are going to look into the whole series, what is important and how to best take it. This series, if you're considering to take and reproduce the entire journey of lazy trading, from starting from to set up your trading environment and continue moving forward to set up decision support system, to supervise your systems and create like an artificial intelligence inside of it. And oh, by the way, and all of that you do to study, learn data and computer science, which will be helpful in other whatever industry or academy you're staying in. Now, I would like to make a little technical announcement. This webinar will be about 40 minutes. There will be this agenda. Let me just show you the agenda right now. There will be introduction, disclaimer. I will spend 3 minutes about each course, and then we will be a little bit about Q&A, and finally we will we'll look at one little surprise. I'm going to share how AI system, this system from course number 7 working. Well, it's basically presumed that this system is basically ready to work within the entire layer of decision support system. So a little bit, yeah. Feel free to use the poll number 1. There is a card on the top right angle. If you click, there's a little eye on it. You just need to press it, and I would like to ask you to press if you can hear and see me well. Please choose yes if you can see, and no if you can't see. I guess there's the entire story is the entire series is not yet well promoted. Anyway, anyway, in case you're watching this later, there will be other cards which I ask your opinion about the webinar, about some other critical questions. Now, let me just move to the thing. Let's go and actually look. I will look a brief introduction about the trading, about lazy trading story which I'm building. What I was thinking, and there is a webinar number 1 which I recorded a week ago. So I started to have this journey lazy trading because I wanted to master concept of algorithmic trading, which I found out to be a hard job, and I didn't have time to monitor everything. So I decided to be like a lazy person that would automate a lot of things, so there will be a way that everything is monitored and automatically handled. So this is why I call that lazy system. Then feel free to check my blog. This is the URL, myblog._attempt. If this basically this website contain all my work which I'm building regarding this hobby research, and my goal is just to save time, let computers do the job. To say frankly, I have full-time job and I don't have much time, so I decided still to let's say to achieve something but using computer. This is a really freedom today. You have a lot of options. So if you scroll down, there is a part of the blog and there is a part of works. Part of the blog contains let's say all my let's say articles, and today we'll be looking into each of these courses, 3 minutes to each, to dedicate and to talk how to take this entire series as a wall part, what you will get, what you'll gain, and how to take this series of courses with a maximum benefit for you. Feel free to read this blog. Otherwise, there is a part of works. There is all this quick links. If you're still not enrolled, you can use links which are here under this links. Or there is also one summary link which is here. It's called Overview of All My Work, which contains all the courses about computer productivity, cryptography, and this latest project, Lazy Trading courses series. Cool. Let me just go back and start to make a little bit of warning. Technically, this thing is about trading, so I would like to offer you a few minutes of reflection and talk about disclaimer. Disclaimer: I want to mention 3 risks that I believe they're very crucial. There's what are those risks are. Let's just let me sorry, I would just want to. So there are 3 risks basically that I want you to focus on. Number 1 is financial risk, where you can eventually lose your money if you invest. Second risk is the time risk. You risk to. There's a lot of information around. You can easily lose yourself by trying to follow someone like me, for example, and you risk to spend a lot of time on doing so. Lazy trading system is which I don't let's say something that I spend like a lot of quite a number of months, honestly. But I compressed everything into the 7 courses in order to let you quickly try. And if it doesn't work, you just drop it. Or if it works, it will be a very little amount of time spent. So there is a risk about losing your time basically by following some concepts which are out there in the internet. And the third risk is psychological risk, which is also heavy. It's one of the serious things that you might expect something from the what you're doing, right? You might even get some winnings and some losers, and this is really hard to sustain psychologically. So be mindful with that. So what I suggest instead is to focus on actually value of this from the learning perspective. That the fact that in this series, of course, you'll learn computer and data science that you can apply to real industry or in your day-to-day activities, whatever they are. Now, I would like to ask you if you do agree that algorithmic trading is helpful to study computer and data science. I personally agree. I agree with this statement. I think that is really it is true that it's helping to learn computer and data science, really, because there's a lot of software, a lot of programs data available, and basically you have a real goal to grow your demo account. Okay, so for me it is yes. If you have other opinion, feel free to send me a message or answer no. I would be really curious to know if anyone agree with that. Now, I'd like to spend really 3 minutes about each course. I will be just yeah, I will start maybe less than 3 minutes. So my goal will be to tell you what I believe the most useful part of each course, and whether or not you should let's say just watch it, or maybe reproduce step by step all the lectures. In any case, I really recommend you to, the courses are not that long, so I really recommend you to, if you have time, I think you maybe need like 10 hours of time, just follow everything in the course and try to reproduce it. Otherwise, in the end of this 21 minute, there will be like a map which help you to decide what to watch and what to replicate. Okay, let me just share my screen quickly to show that. So 3 minutes about each course. Let's start. Course number 1, set up our trading environment. This course is really meant to build the system that that's kind of connected to the world. And it has a trading mechanism, which is this 4 terminals and decision support system. Plus, we have a transversal version control, which kind of helping us to automate and keep track of what we are doing. So this course I'd like to understand, reproduce, and to understand the value of this, understand the fact that you should have like an entire workflow around your activities. Okay, so this is the goal. What I recommend you to do is to reproduce, recreate those terminals, install the software I recommend for version control for for decision support system. I'm using R because I just described before. I just started using R. Theoretically, it can be also everything can be also reproduced with Python. So what I recommend, you just quickly reproduce whatever it is, make it robust. If you decided to use VPS, you can try to do so. Although I focusing on the course explaining how to turn Windows machine into your personal trading station, which will work 24/7. So this is the course number 1. This cloud repo is optional. I recommend you to just clone, and then if you wish to publish your code, really your code, it's up to you. Now, second course, trading robot. This course is meant just to explain about the trading robot. It's meant to explain about the trading robot structure and to know how it is composed of. But I'm not really want you to lose your attention. All I want to maybe to watch this course to understand which part of the trading robot you can touch, which part responsible for what, and there will be a lot of functions which you can see just here. These functions are basically I'm using some template which I found in other courses on Forex, and I asked permission of the author to use this template. So there will be in the course we're discussing where to modify it, so you can just theoretically you can just compile it and you will be ready to go. In the course number 2, we also I'm also explaining how to make this template compatible with decision support system, so we can start and stop it from elsewhere rather than MetaTrader platform. So really just watch it and reproduce it on the extent to have the robot to put it on the charts to start trading. And do not waste time on optimizing that robot to any currency pair. I don't recommend you to do so. Just drop this robot to some currency pairs just to let them trade to verify that it is capable to trade. Okay, next course is about setting up your trading journal. I believe personally that ability of the trader to quickly realize, to analyze multiple trades is important and really fantastic. If in the fact in this third course I built from Shiny, I built my personal trading journal, which works for actually 4 terminals, and it's perfectly integrated. We can have summary of all the trades. There is no databases, nothing. It's just from reading from files, activate everything from files, and we can very quickly understand if some systems are profitable, sometimes are not. Some systems are not profitable. Here, I really recommend you to watch it. Have the trading journal yourself installed. Make sure it is working. Make sure it is actually reading the trades that were generated by the trading robot. Again, it's okay if this robot is losing demo money. It's no issue, but make sure that you can read, understand I mean, you can read this results of the trade in the trading journal. Make sure you can write some comments. We are organizing terminals. Make sure you can write about particular comments about some trading strategy. Okay, this was trading about the course number 3 about trading about the trading journal, right? Next course, number 4. Number 4 is a very interesting course about automated statistical trading control. This course was the aim of this course was to kind of supervise our trading robots, multiple trading robots, and with aim to only use profitable systems. If case systems start losing money, the idea is that we drop this system. So this course teaches 2 methods to achieve that, using profit factor to supervise profit factors, calculating and supervising that, or using reinforcement learning that also does the same thing. And this is very exciting part, reinforcement learning. I really recommend, if you have time, to really understand step by step, execute the code. But it's not mandatory to actually follow the code and start reproducing, let's say, building up the systems and try to reproducing it. However, in the course number 7, you can still return to this course and reproduce it by putting, 28 robots on terminal 1 and 28 robots on terminal 3, as explained in this course number 4. So here, once again, reinforcement learning concept is very interesting. Try to follow the lecture, try to watch it, try to understand as much as you can, but don't waste your time on, again, trying to deploy some robots and trying to, let's say, get really good results from the system at this stage. And this is because there is a very, let's say, very long time that it will take to optimize 28 currency pairs for the trading. Now, the course number 5 is the course that just aim to read some information from the internet. For example, if there will be, for example, some macroeconomic event present. In this case, we maybe don't want to trade whenever there's a non-farm payroll. So for this reason, this was the main idea why I published this course. It's teaching you about web scrapping, essentially. I did also apply some sort of a sentiment analysis, but honestly speaking, and here I want to be frank with you, there's no really edge if you deploy this system to in the day trading. Maybe if you like a very fundamental trading, maybe there will be an edge if you kind of spot some tendencies, like if the sentiment of the population of the news is like negative, you should buy, for example, something like that. So there's a lot of there's a sort of possibilities there, but I don't really recommend you to replicate that. Just watch the lecture, try to learn how to do polarity scoring, which may be useful in your day-to-day activities. Now, so what I recommend you to replicate is just the point that help you to stop the trades whenever there is a rate change or there is someone speaking, like a central bank, Euro central bank manager speaking, and so on. So, but don't. I not actually recommended you to replicate the part about using sentiment analysis for trading itself. Okay. Now let me continue to go to the course number 6. Course number 6 is about detecting market status with artificial intelligence. I'm using H2O, and here we are basically what we're trying to achieve is to detect 6 market types for 28 currency pairs. We try to build this model which will be capable to scan the latest state of the market and be capable to tell us which is this current state. What I can tell about this course is that it's very interesting, but there are a couple of important assumptions that we can, of course, we can recognize current status, but there are several problems with that. First of all, we need to have it will be assumption on the current state, not on the future state. We assume it will persist, right? And the second assumption that we still need to have some trading strategy, trading system, which we should have, okay, which we should be really sure it will perform in this market status. So we can have an error of model, okay, which maybe wrongly recognize market status, and there is an assumption. So there is two serious things, and third thing is we need to have a trading strategy that works in specific market type. So it's really, I really recommend you to watch this to understand, maybe to produce the model and try it. Maybe if you wish, you can put your own trading strategy, but I basically I didn't have time to really build trading strategy with indicators that would work in a particular market type. So now I'm going to course number 7. I think I'm talking very, very fast. If on all this, maybe 2 minutes for each course. Anyway, I hope that it's still interesting. So course number 7, we are talking about this probably most advanced course. That's the course that I mostly like a lot. This course teaches you how to predict the future. It teaches you how to build regression and classification models that will predict future from the past on several time frames, and it will also automate this learning. They will be needed to actually to build like, let's say, first models you will build yourself, then you need to choose the best one, and then you can there is a interesting part in this course which is basically trading strategy test in site R using pipes. I think it's a brilliant idea because we are doing it like on the independent data, and it's really really useful from the trading perspective. And here what we're doing, it's not some novelty. What we do, we just use the let's say indicator pattern that is trained that was trained on the specific price change, okay, and the labeling of the price change is also happening automatically, so it's much better. And course number 6, if you take this one, it will help you a lot to proceed faster with this course. Now, this things that I want to mention here is that this course was I built this course essentially out of the box, well, while creating the series. So I made several mistakes. I didn't delete these mistakes from the course. Maybe I will do this, but I left them in the course just to show which trading mistake could arise, which are the lessons learned, and finally, if you would have this course, watch this course like tomorrow, you will be able to get course with less mistakes, of course. However, in the chapter number 5, I post some a real, let's say, demo example of trading, and this demo example actually demonstrate those mistakes, and there is a lesson learned, but there is also chapter number 6 in which you get a Robot Falcon F1, which is performing really well. I'm really happy to show you in a second how it will perform. So this was 2-3 minutes about each course actually. Now I'd like to ask you, are you really keen to replicate, are you planning to, or are you replicating this entire series? So I would like to ask you to use the poll to actually choose the button, and let me know if you're replicating this course or not, if you're really putting your effort to clone the repositories and try them on your own computer. I will be very curious to learn about this. So please feel free to use the eye icon. There is a card, so feel free to press yes or no, or not sure if you're still not sure to do so. Now, let me go to a final part of this webinar. about question and answer. I would like to make a little summary here to tell what is the most valuable content to replicate. In my opinion, I think it is specified right here. This is a little map that shows that R means replicate, W means to watch. So here I am recommended to replicate course number 1, course number 3, and course number 7. And the rest you can watch, with the exception of course number 4, which you can replicate using a trading robot in course number 7. And the general advice I want to give you, don't waste time on robots optimization. Of course, if you, I mean, I don't want to influence you. Feel free to do what you want, but for the lazy trading series, I'm not recommended to do so. I really recommend you to try a robot in the course number 7. Also, feel free to use version control to get the code to your GitHub account and then synchronize it with your computer. It's not mandatory to publish your own code if you make changes, no doubt, but it will make your life easier if you want to change and return back. Okay, this is something that I believe that the most valuable content. What is necessary but not that essential? Let me come back why I think that it's what I think that is not that essential. Course number 2 is not that essential, essentially, because if you don't plan to really hard code and kind of start developing your own trading robot, well, it's not mandatory unless you have some idea, specifically with some indicator, someone suggested you, or you have skills. Feel free to replicate it. Otherwise, just watch it. Course number 4, why I suggested to watch it is because there were some learning curve from my side, and I'm kind of a struggle a little bit at the beginning. But anyway, the course number 4 will be useful to replicate with the robot from course number 7. Course number 5, as once again, um, the idea was to have like to have a web scraping part in the course to connect to the internet. If you have other idea, feel free to add your input to this decision support system using web scraping. It's up to you. Now, course number 6 is again what I said. There is one downside is that we need to manually label the data for to train deep learning model. In any case, if you need this knowledge to train, if in other industry you not in trading, you would need to use deep learning model for pattern recognition. Course number 7 is useful because it provides pieces of code that help you to basically use time series data and uh, prepare the data for deep learning. And course number 7 is once again um, part that is less interesting is let's say, but I believe still is important to learn from your own mistake. Learn from my mistake in the chapter number 5. I did not spend much time on the testing before I published the chapter, so I struggled a little bit, and finally I found out the best setup. The best setup is to make sure that you test your logic. Once it started to create dashboards, create logs, so you can troubleshoot your system. This is my best practices which I discovered. Cool. What's the best part of this lazy trading series? And I think it's definitely courses number 4, courses number 7, 4, 7, yeah, course number 7 and 4. These are the best parts. Of course, um, yeah, course number 3 is also interesting for the training journals. And why it is interesting, the most interesting part is course number 7, I think, because we're using the trading system without indicators. Basically, artificial intelligence is basically deciding what to do. It's checking itself. We are creating this algorithm which uses the best model, which is capable to adapt. And I personally believe in this course. There's of course, it's not a holy grail because you still need to put your effort to train the deep learning model. There is a lack of reproducibility in deep learning modeling, and you can improve this course as well if you would use a larger data set. I'm not using a really large data set. I'm just, I just train it by like this. But if you have, and I will create another webinar about each of these courses from 2 to 7, and we will go a little more in detail about them. Anyway, this was the questions that I prepared. If you have other questions, feel free to send me a personal message or feel free to send me email. I will be happy to discuss other questions about a lazy trading series. Now, I would like to actually offer you a little surprise. I don't want to, let's say, overestimate, oversell, but I would like to actually share good news that well, what I want to share is the, let's say, little teaser what you can achieve, because I could achieve it on the demo account. So let me show you my trading journal actually right now. Here, let me just stop sharing, and what I'd like to show is my trading journal. One moment, I'll just run my Shiny app with my trading journal. Let me just share my screen to show the results. So basically, I'm testing the trading robot, which it's just 1 week, of course, and there's just 60 trades. Of course, it's not really long term, which I had. However, I'm really curious because there's quite a good performance, and the point here that this robot was not using any indicator. So it's basically artificial intelligence that here it is, that made this. So here was the 30 robots deployed, and over 1 week, it generated this 60 trades with a profit 51 franc. There was not so much, let's say, not so much risk. Risk was very always 0.001 minimum amount of lots. I was just testing the system, so it shows that the system is very interesting. I didn't spend any seconds to optimize the system. Just put some values into this, and then there was basically basic parameters training. Once again, please make sure that you understand the risks. It's not a holy grail system. It may be just a coincidence. It was just 1 week. However, I'm still happy to share this great result with you. So finally, I would like to ask you. I would like to ask you your feedback. If you find this webinar useful, video useful, feel free to actually choose a number of stars that you think that this webinar deserves. 5 is very very good, is very useful. 1, I need to improve, and so on. So this is the. I hope. Thank you for your feedback. Once again, I would like to make a quick wrap up. Actually, don't want to waste your time. Make it quick. The wrap up is this: basically, lazy trading. What is inside lazy trading story? We are building, assembling with pieces of software, artificial intelligence that act above our trading algorithmic system, which I call decision support system. This decision support system contains trading environment, It's integrated with robot template, with version control. We're using reinforcement learning to control our trades. We have a trading journal. We can detect market status. We even have a self-learning robot which uses neural networks to to generate trading decision. So this is about the series. Once again, I hope that you will find my activity and my hobby useful. My goal is to save your time, my time, and let computers to do the job. I'm hosting, let's say, this blog here, which you can read. I will update it. There is a each course has a description, which basically few thoughts about it. The goal is once again to learn computer and data science using algorithmic trading. So with this in mind, I actually thank you for your time. I thank you for your feedback. I thank you for finding time to find this interesting and following these courses. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And obviously, happy trading and have a good results in your learning experience. Hope it was useful. Bye.